Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode number 34 of the Atlas Annuity podcast. I am your host, Marty Becker, owner and founder of Atlas Financial Strategies in St. Louis, Missouri, where we specialize in safe money retirement strategies. In today's episode, we're going to take a deep dive into the Allianz 222. Now, I've said it 100 times before, there really are no bad annuities. There's only bad recommendations. And the 222 is just one of those annuities that I see constantly getting recommended in error. So, as I normally like to state when doing these product overviews, is that again, there's nothing wrong with Allianz or the Allianz 222. Again, it's just a recommendation on how to use the product. So let's jump right into this. The Allianz 222 is issued by Allianz Life Insurance Company, obviously. The parent company has been around since about 1890 or something crazy like that. It's an A-plus rated company, and they have somewhere around $185 billion in assets, so a very strong company financially. The 222 is a fixed indexed annuity that comes with an income rider, and it has lots of features and benefits. Now, this is one of these annuities that I see pushed at dinner seminars on a regular basis. The thing you have to understand about these types of annuities is that the more bells and whistles that they have on them, the less effective each feature and benefit becomes. An early mentor of mine in this industry told me there are no deals in the insurance industry. Everything is based on math. So when you see, again, this type of product that does a little bit of everything, it does a little bit of everything very inefficiently. So what are all these features and benefits that come with the 222? I'm going to list them here real quick, and then we'll go through each one individually. So at the time of this recording, it comes with a 40% bonus. There are no fees for that income rider or in the annuity. Now, there is a clause in there that says they can add a fee at some point if they deem necessary. It's never happened in the history of this product, and it probably won't. The 222 also comes with a 150% crediting towards the protected income value. I'll explain what that means in a little bit. There's also an income multiplier for long-term care needs, along with an opportunity for increasing income for the rest of your life. And it has a 10% penalty-free withdrawal starting in the second year of the policy. Okay, so let's talk about the bonus, which again, at the time of this recording is 40%. It's going to bounce between 18 to 25 to 30% most of the time. We're in a unique situation at the time of this recording, but one of the big pitches of this annuity is the bonus itself. Now, what people have to understand is that this bonus does not go into your pocket, okay? I want you to picture that there are two separate buckets inside of this annuity. One is marked income, one is marked account value or walkaway money. What you have to realize is that 40% bonus goes into the income bucket. What that means is that bonus is part of an actuarial calculation that determines your future income from this annuity. Now, there is nothing wrong with that. That's how almost every bonus on income annuity works. But what you have to realize is that it will give you a benefit down the road because Allianz is going to pay you as if you put in the premium plus any bonus that they give you at the time of application. So in this scenario, if you put $100,000 into this annuity, they're going to assume based on your income calculation that you put $140,000 in. Now, there is a unique situation with the 222 and other annuities like it to where that bonus can actually be applied to your death benefit if your beneficiaries are willing to take the payments over a 5-year period. So they would get 5 equal payments over a 5-year period. So this actually makes it a pretty useful product for people who want to leave more money behind without risking it in the market, but they can't qualify for life insurance. So that part is a real positive. But again, there needs to be a clear understanding that bonus does not go in your pocket. It is never counted as walkaway money. Now, the bonus plays into the next feature, which is the income rider. The income rider is that feature that will give you a guaranteed income once it is activated down the road. However, because there is no expense for this income rider, the trade-off is that there is a 10-year waiting period. Again, always remember, there are no deals in the insurance industry. Everything is based on math. And another thing to keep in mind, because there is no expense for that guaranteed income rider, the 222 does not have any deferred roll-ups like all the other income annuities that have the guaranteed income riders with them. So on a guaranteed basis, you very well could wait 10 years and still only get paid off the original amount that you put into it, plus whatever the bonus is. So the only way to increase the income above the 0% guarantee is to have the index perform over that 10 years while you have to wait to activate the income. Now, is it likely that you will get no growth in this annuity whatsoever? I seriously doubt it. Will it be enough to match or outpace the deferred roll-up that you would get with a guaranteed income rider with another annuity? I seriously doubt that too. So the way that they made this a little more attractive is to give you a 150% indexing credit towards the income value. So what that means is that if the index that you are tracking has a 3% growth rate on any given year, they will put that 3% in your walkaway bucket, but they will add 4.5% to your protected income value. And that is the number that they calculate your future income from. The next benefit is the income multiplier benefit. Now, this is another one of those benefits that gets overhyped when this product is presented. The income multiplier is a feature that will actually double your income if you are ever confined to a skilled nursing facility, an assisted living facility, or you are unable to perform 2 of the 6 adult daily living activities. Again, this is a great benefit, and it has some stipulations that are not really important for this overview. But here is the one stipulation that you must understand, and that is there has to be account value, there has to be walkaway money left in the annuity for this benefit to take place. So once your account value is depleted, if you have been in a situation to where your income was doubled, it will go back to the original income. And even though the annuity is out of money, it will not run out of income. But here's the thing you need to understand. Most income annuities are going to run out of account value right about the age that most people need long-term care. So again, this is a really nice feature to have. Would I count on this to solve your long-term care problems? Absolutely not. You really need to look into long-term care insurance for true protection in that area. Okay, so the 222 also has the opportunity for increasing income for the rest of your life. So this is another one of those benefits that sounds really good, but it can get overhyped, especially when we're living in the environment that we're in right now, where inflation is crazy high and people are super concerned about it. It's very easy to make this annuity sound like it's going to be the solution to your long-term inflation problem, when really it may just be a small benefit to help offset it. So the biggest thing is to be super conservative when we're looking at the growth rate expectations. And when I say conservative, I mean like 3 to 3.5% per year on average over the long term. Because I see illustrations all the time that have crazy growth rates projecting like 10 to 13%, and that is a huge pet peeve of mine. These annuities are not really designed to do that. Could they do that much? Absolutely. Should you count your future income on it doing that much? Absolutely not. And then the last big benefit of the 222 is the 10% penalty-free withdrawal that actually begins in the second year. Now, every annuity pretty much has this option of taking 10% in the second year. The biggest difference between the 222 and other annuities just like it is that you can take 10% of the premium every year, meaning every dollar that you put into it, where other annuities, you can only take 10% of the account value. So to give you a quick example, just to clarify what that means is that, let's say we put 100,000 into two separate annuities and you have zero growth the first year. At the beginning of the second year, you could take $10,000 from either one of those annuities, 10% of 100,000. Let's play this out one more year with no growth. With the 222, even though the account value is only 90,000, you can still take $10,000 out because you can take 10% of the original premium of 100,000. Where with most other annuities, where the account value would only be 90,000 at that point, you could take 10% of 90,000, which would be $9,000. So that's a huge benefit that can be used in certain strategies when we're looking at using multiple annuities. However, there are multiple other companies that have a very similar product that will allow you to take 10% of the premium after 30 days instead of having to wait until the second year with Allianz. Okay, so thanks for hanging in there with me while we went through those features and benefits individually to give you a better understanding of what each one is and how it works. So let's do some comparisons here of the 222 versus a fixed indexed annuity with a guaranteed income rider for a 65-year-old couple. So if we took $100,000 and put it into the 222, again, with a very reasonable expectation of a 3% growth rate, that couple would get an income of $10,871 at the age of 75. And then with that continued growth rate, the actual income would grow by 4.5% because of that 150 multiplier that we talked about earlier. Again, could it be more? Yes. Should you plan your future income on that? No. So what else would be available for the same couple? So if that same couple took the same $100,000 and they were going to wait 10 years to activate the income, at the time of this recording, they could put it into a fixed indexed annuity with a guaranteed income rider that has guaranteed roll-ups every year. And the starting income at the same time period would be $17,500 per year. And that's with no questions asked. Nothing else has to happen with the indexes. That is the guaranteed amount, at least at the time of this recording. But wait, Marty, hold on. I'm doing the 222 or a product like it because I like the idea of the increasing income over time. Okay, no problem whatsoever. What if we did this? So what if we funded that other income annuity that gave you the $17,500 per year, and then we would just keep the original income that we would have got from the 222, and then we invested that difference into some low-cost index funds or something like that. Again, this is not investment advice. We're just showing some examples here. So as time went on, we would be investing less and less of that $17,500 into something else as we were taking our inflation increases. And then after about 11 years, that inflation increase would have caught up to where we would have evened out. And now we would be pulling money back out of the investment to continue that 4.5% increase every year. And what does that scenario look like in the long term? Okay, so if you're listening to this on one of the podcast players, I apologize. So you'll probably want to go back to YouTube and watch this so you can see what I'm actually talking about. But the way this worked out is these red numbers that we're looking at here with the arrows pointing at them, this is the difference from the $17,500 that you would have got from the guaranteed annuity versus the 10,000 and change that you would have got out of the 222. That additional income is just showing going into an investment. As time goes on, you can see we're investing less and less of that 17,500 because we're taking 4.5% every year as an inflation offset. And then eventually, as you see these numbers turn green, now the incomes have evened out to where the Allianz product has caught up with that guaranteed 17,500 we were getting from the other annuity. So now we're taking money back out of the investment to continue our 4.5% inflation increase. So your income is continuing to grow every single year, just like it would with the 222 if it was getting the index performance. We could actually do this more on a guaranteed basis and more predictably. However, look what happens in the long term. At age 95, you still have over $64,000 left over in the investment portfolio. And how much would be left in the 222 with a 3% growth rate? Zero. So now you have both the income and more than half of the money that you put into the original annuity. So now you have the income and more than half the money that you put into the annuity 20 years ago goes back into your pocket. Oh, and by the way, did I use some hyped up sequence of returns in the market here? Actually, no. I used some of the worst returns possible going back to the year 2000 based on the S&P 500. And this is when we had all the dot-com stocks crash. We had 9/11, then we had the Iraq War, and then we had the financial crisis of 2008. So these are some of the worst returns in history, and you still came out way ahead. And again, just for clarification, would you have gone wrong with the 222? No, you would still have the income. But is there a smarter way to do things? And the answer is almost always yes. Okay, so I want to give you one more example here before I start wrapping this up, because what a product like the 222 will normally be used for in retirement planning is that 10% penalty-free withdrawal during the early years of retirement. Again, a very useful feature, but is there a better way to do it? Let's take a look at this example. So if that same 65-year-old couple put $100,000 of premium into the 222, and then they started withdrawing $10,000 per year, starting in year 2, and if we stuck with the same 3% growth rate, that would give them a starting income in year 11 of about $2,400 per year, and then it would continue to grow from there with any other indexing increases. So, of course, I understand that's not a whole lot of income down the road because they pulled the majority of the money out. But a lot of times when we're using this type of strategy, it's going to be in conjunction with some sort of laddering technique with another annuity or bonds or CDs. And anything that's left over that would produce income from this type of product is just kind of icing on the cake. However, what if we just take a pause and sit back and think for a second, is there a smarter way to do this? And again, almost always the answer is yes. So, looking at using the exact same amount of money, only using two different annuities to get a very similar but more advantageous result. We could buy or fund a 9-year term certain annuity that will pay $10,000 per year between years 2 to 10 with a premium of $71,000. Then we could take the remaining $29,000 that we didn't have to put into the annuity to create that income, and again fund a second fixed indexed annuity with a guaranteed income rider that will pay a guaranteed $5,000 per year starting in year 11. So twice as much as what the 222 would play. And again, that's if you got 3% growth during that first 10-year period. And because that second annuity is a guaranteed payout, and it's so much higher, double actually, it would take over 20 years to have that inflation offset at 3% growth rate, but 4.5 going towards the income. It would take over 20 years of the increasing income from the 222 to catch up with that guaranteed rate from the second annuity. And how would that look for this couple at age 95? Overall, using something like the 222 would give them a little over $171,000 in income during that 30-year period. We're using the Atlas annuity strategy, and just thinking about it for a couple minutes actually gave them over 196,000 in income over that 30-year period, or about 15% more income for doing nothing but just using a different strategy. Same amount of money. And again, keep in mind, this Atlas strategy that I just put together, those are guaranteed numbers, at least at the time of this recording. The other scenario with the 222, again, is still speculation, even though it's a reasonable speculation. So let's just do a quick summary of the pros and cons of the 222. For the pros, we talked about all the features and benefits listed throughout the podcast, the increased death benefit, increasing income, etc. And if it is used appropriately, it can be a very effective annuity. Some of the cons, however, aren't even really a shot at the 222 itself. It's more at the advisors selling it that are setting unrealistic expectations for the growth. Keep in mind, the only numbers that are guaranteed for this annuity are the ones that are listed on the 0% growth page of the illustration. Any other increase in features and benefits is 100% reliant on that index performance. Okay, everyone, I know that was a lot, and I super appreciate you hanging in there. You may have to go back and watch this a couple times to really let it sink in what I was explaining with that strategy. If you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to it, please like it, and please share it with someone that you think could benefit from this information. And if there's a topic that you would like to hear me talk about, please leave a comment in the comment section on YouTube or on any of the web pages. We'll see it and we'll look at putting something together to address that specific topic. Again, this is Marty Becker. Thank you again for tuning in. Wishing you all the best in your financial education, and I will see you in the next episode.